Alrighty. Hi everyone. Hope you're well and welcome to another Stanley parable. We're up to part 3 for this series now. Hope you're all well. Oh, sorry about the noise, just getting my microphone set. Alright. Okay, let's start. Oh, and if you remember from part 2, David did say that he was going to give us more slidey options to work out something or other. Please adjust the slide until the computer is barely visible. Oh. Yeah, let's go there. Please adjust the slide until the dog and cat are friends. Okay. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. What, does it do anything? Let's leave it as a full slide. Which of the two made up words below is most appealing to you? Scrumtosh? Okabonkal. Okabonkal. You know what? I'm gonna go with this one. Do I know what time it is right now? I do, in fact. It's 1:55 p.m. Yes. I'm gonna say yes. What is time anyway? No. I'm just gonna say yes. Yes. Help. Yeah, we can help you, David. Will you come back to visit me? Yes, because we will be playing more of Stanley in the upcoming weeks and months, hopefully. Alright, let's begin properly.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I wonder if it changes
Stanley
at all.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him.
Alright, I'm assuming it just said the same things. So, now that I've realised we can also crouch. Wonder if we can touch any of these.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, number 1, Dad. Now, I'm going to try and just start clicking on any of these because, as
No
in
matter how
part
hard Stanley
2,
looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
yes, we know, David. As of the part 2, the phone rang in one of them parts, which never happened before. So I'm wondering if we can somehow get...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Oh! Alright, so that turned off the computer. Can you turn it back on? Well, I hope that wasn't important. What's that say? I like work. I like work, I just hate my boss. Alright. So I don't know what direction we're going to go in today. So part 1, I kind of ignored David and then I didn't. And then in part 2, I just fully ignored him and kept on jumping off the platform in the other rooms. Oh, I wonder what happens if I just turn off any on computer. What's that say? Something have fallen. It's mugshot, 2 mugshots. I would like to know if there's any way to find out the mystery of what has happened, like if that is an ending, or if... or if that's just not part of the game. So no access. Alright. Turn off all the computers in here. So yeah, I don't know what direction we're gonna go for this one. I hate Mondays. I wonder if that said something different last game. Who knows? What's that say? Wonder how we can get to there.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Right, so I'm gonna ignore it and see if we can get anywhere else.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
For the other way?
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Because... that door's open. Can you jump?
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Say I'm hungry.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
David's really sarcastic, ain't he?
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Well, that's not very nice, David. Just trying to see.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Alrighty, folks, so as I said, we're just gonna stick with going through here, but I'm not gonna jump or anything because we've already done that route. So I'm gonna see if we can get anywhere.
Following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
It looks like the cages and stuff have been partially removed. Actually, that's weird because it should have restarted the whole game. Huh. I said I wasn't, but I'm surprised that there's some gate. I know I said I wasn't gonna just jump off it, but I'm finding well, that only those parts have been gated still, even though it's a brand new game, so it should have reset everything.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Turn that off. Turn that one off. Was that on last time? Well, if it was, it's now pressed it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going to,
this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm not going to keep jumping. I'm just curious as to what
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
No, it's still not gated. Oh. Alright, let's go. Let's go.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone... Really?
Oh.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Well, David, I think you are on my side, but danger. Danger everywhere. Okay. I haven't been in here yet, So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Bit nervous actually. 2B1. Alrighty. Oh, a new area. There are all these boxes. No buckets past this point. I wonder why. And I don't know where David's gone, considering he said he wanted to prove that he's on our side.
Now listen carefully, this is important.
Oh,
Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
Ooh.
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
I'm in the loop.
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like David's going to kill us if I walk through this door. I guess we'll see what happens.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Oh gosh, I've lost. Oh, there we are. I wonder what this ending is. Oh.
Here, yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Well, that's nice, David. What are you making? Looks like a kaleidoscope. Like you used to have when you were kids. Alright, so what happens if I just fall? Calabunga. Oh! It won't let me. No Calabunga, I guess.
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
I'm surprised the door hasn't closed. I know you're happy in there, David, but sorry. I'm trying to work out where my paper went. What is that? Kid's drawing.
Oh no! Okay. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Alright, so... Well, either I'm gonna have to go up or... Okay, let's see what happens.
Please,
Better
no,
not be.
Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Oh, now I feel bad. Oh, there's no door up here.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
No!
Oh, I wasn't meant to. Oops.
Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
Had me
Now,
worried there.
can we please get back to the other room?
Wonder what happens if you go back. Wish you could run in this.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving. Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
I have to apologise to David a lot, don't I?
No, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to put another warning on this video. Oh, that gives me vertigo. Alright, Calabunga.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Oh.
Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
Yeah,
Am I reading the
David.
situation correctly?
That's not true. We just want to go back to the beginning.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Oh,
But I
now I
guess
feel
that was too
bad.
much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me? I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
Feels like Stanley's not walking as fast as he usually does. Or is that just me? Who knows? Comment below if you think I'm walking a bit slower than usual. Calabunga.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm
Sorry,
going
David.
back.
God, that made me feel bad. Looks like I have a message on my phone.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Right. Officially, I don't think I'm ever going that route again. Oh! Well, there's 2 bars. Yeah, I don't think I'm following that route ever again. Maybe a bit upset. I feel really bad for David.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep, I need some employee
The
wear
lounge
just to
was
make me feel
sublime,
better.
a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper. Something darker.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yeah, I'm not going back over there. I can at least not for a little bit.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay, so that's the meeting room, which then just leads me to the boss's room and stuff like that. So let's get down here and see where this takes us.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
I've also wondered, like, what happens if...
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No,
let me free.
no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Is there somewhere else I can go? Because this is just a cheat ending way. Okay. Begin the game again. What if I keep repeating the game over and over again if something changes as well?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay. Where's that input machine? Oh. That's weird. That input machine isn't here.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. The ball up inside you, take it out passive-aggressively. Oh. That's true. It does seem quite... There's quite a lot of charts in this. Boss appreciation minute. If you ever find yourself in conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but with more inclined to conflict, unless you're the kind of person who... Oh, damn. I'll pause it next time it comes up. If it comes up. Okay, just not getting fined. Talk less to unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no expectation, of promotion or recognition, and don't get fired. Let it ball up inside you, taking out passive aggressively on other co-workers, and then resent co-workers for not supporting you more. Yep. And it's back to the beginning. Okay, get Chris out of the broom closet. Every time I do look into the broom closet, Chris is not there. But let's just let him out anyway, just in case.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Like hocus pocus or something?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Right, David, what happens if I close the broom closet?
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
FA.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
People are confusing, David.
You do realize there's
baffling.
no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
What's with the accent, David?
Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family
David.
connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
David!
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed in front of your screen. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get over the fact that Stanley just called me stupid. Sorry, David just called Stanley stupid, fat, and ugly, and said said Stanley was addicted to drugs and hookers. That wasn't very nice, David. Glad I named you, otherwise I'd be standing around going, curse you, whoever. Oh, I'm gonna stay in here just to annoy you and see what happens. I don't know if anything else will happen. It's just some rope. Always good to have some rope. Slippery. Alright.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Alright, so David doesn't really like
Coming to a
humans.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
I
office.
wonder what's down here. Oh. Yeah, that isn't ominous at all. What's that say? Nothing. Fire hose. Oh! Car.
But Stanley
Another car.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Okay.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Ooh. What happened to
Mariella
Stanley?
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So Stanley has brown hair. There you go. Oh. Uh-oh. The start has changed again. Oh, it's this
All
one.
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
This
he had
has
simply
the,
missed a memo.
The whiteboard. Whiteboard ending. How did I get to the whiteboard ending from there?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Dog mode. That dog mode wasn't there last time we got the whiteboard ending, I don't think. If I'm remembering correctly, which these days I probably wouldn't trust my memory.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley,
Okay,
I
is
think
there
perhaps
anywhere
we've
else
gotten
I
off on the
can-
wrong foot here. I'm
can
not your
jump?
enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Okay, so I have
That's
gotten this
her,
ending
Stanley.
before.
You need to be the one to do
This
this.
time,
To
I am
reach
going
out
to
to
answer
her.
the phone.
If you can truly place your faith...
Ooh.
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
David.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Oh dear. That's not ominous at all.
This is a very
Creepy.
sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Oh, what? Good morning, employee 427. Press circle on your controller.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I think David's just grumpy.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
What if I don't want to press it, David? What if I don't want to press it? I'm gonna have to, aren't I? Damn it.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Game with the baby.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Oh. Pardon me. Alright, so I don't think I'm ever going to pick that phone up again. I'm just saying.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, that is new.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Same.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, here we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Wonder if this is just going to go on forever.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Alright.
All right, let's see. It's...
The jump
jump
circle.
circle?
As in I can jump. Let's see.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Nope, that's it. Right. I can jump. Oh, this is lovely. Nine, 8, 7. Well, tell me to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that sucks. I think that's all it's going to give us. Well, we haven't. Well, that. Wouldn't mind if I could jump again.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for
That's
enjoying
it?
the new
Oh,
content.
you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
All right. Oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just
Ooh.
our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste. And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing.
Sorry, David. Yeah, you might be wondering why I've cancelled that because we were on a new thing, but unfortunately I'm going to have to leave it there. We're coming up to our 60-minute countdown. So just want to say thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe for more content, and welcome to any new subscribers that have joined us. It's lovely to have you here, and then hopefully once we reach enough subscribers we can start going live. Alright, thanks everyone, hope you have a good week. Bye.